Good afternoon, everybody. We're live on the CanDo podcast. We have an incredible special guest today. It is my honor and privilege to invite Rachel King to the studio today. She has an incredible CanDo story. She started the keto-based diet in June of 2018 and lost 100 pounds. And she has become a big supporter of Keto Crisp and our mission to inspire, to empower, to make people feel healthier each and every day. Rachel, it is our honor to have you on the show. Thank you so much. First of all, I got to tell you, I'm just so proud of you and every guest that comes on. You know, it really is incredible to hear their story. And we'll get into your story here. And I just want to thank you so much for coming on. And really, my hat off to you for your incredible success, your positivity, and just share your story with everyone. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I sure appreciate it. Forgive me for lots of ums and uhs. I'm not used to doing this kind of thing, but I'm happy to do it. I'm very happy that you asked me, and I thank you. So June, do you want back way before?
Wherever you'd like to start, I just want you to hide. This is your opportunity to tell your story, to share it with our audience, to who, you know, it's such a great story. Everybody, you know what I love? I love to see this, and that's a smile on your face and the excitement, the I can do it because you did it. And I want you to share your story so that maybe somebody out there, if it's one person, that's awesome. And you say, you know what? It's my turn to have it now. Let's go.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I was born in New Orleans and youngest of 4 girls. And the food in Louisiana is incredible. And my family's physique reflected it.
Yes.
I've been heavy my whole life. I was 10 years old when I can remember people calling me a little fatty or piggy. That started really early, and I've tried every weight loss diet there was. At the age of 18, I had a stomach banding to, bariatric surgery to drastically lose weight, and it was drastic. I did lose weight. I also lost my hair. I also lost muscle. I was very unhealthy. I was malnourished.
Yes.
Yeah, that was not healthy. It was fast. It did what they advertised, but it really wasn't healthy. And it took me the next 10 years to just get my gut health back. And when I married and had a child, my stomach was always in knots. I would have issues all the time, either acid, not gas, sorry. Acid, really not being able to eat. I'd have days where I couldn't eat anything. So that continued to be a problem for me. When let's see, 2000, I started having back pain. And I was probably the biggest. I didn't own a scale at that time. I was probably 300 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
And I was in pain all the time. I went to 3 different doctors. They couldn't tell me why I was in pain. But
Nobody said you were just overweight?
Well, before I left the office, they all said, well, it wouldn't hurt to lose some weight. So of course it wouldn't hurt to lose weight. Why am I in pain? It was a specific place. It wasn't just a general, I don't feel good. It was specific.
Right.
I finally found a doctor that I had a herniated disc in my upper back. And his solution was painkillers and muscle relaxers. And 18 years I was on painkillers and muscle relaxers daily.
Wow.
I didn't have a break from that. That was constant. And in 2018, when I went to our family doctor, we get physicals every year, and he noticed in my blood work, he said, you've got a fatty liver and we need to do something about that. I said, okay. I'm thinking another pill. What are you going to do? And he said, have you heard of the keto diet? And I said, well, I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is exactly. And he said, okay. He left the room and he printed out 2 pages from the internet and he came back and he gave it to me and he said, okay, this really seems counterintuitive. You're going to eat protein and fat and you're not going to have many carbs. And this is what I need you to do. It'll take care of the fatty liver. I said, okay, I'll try it. I went home and after reading that and then reading online, I threw out all of the oil that was in my house, canola oil, vegetable oil, and anything that was not coconut oil, I threw away. Grains out the trash. And my husband was like, "What are you doing?" It's like, I have to do this. I felt like I didn't have another way. A fatty liver can kill you. And
Right.
I just said, this is
And
my
you
life.
and you never thought about that obesity could kill you because
No,
nobody told you that.
no. And I 2 days into doing a keto, and I know it's water and all of the normal things that happen when you first go on keto, but I lost 9 pounds in 2 days.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
That's not it to me. It didn't feel like that's just water weight. That's your body saying, I like what you're doing. So I stayed on it and I have not looked back because within about 4 months, I wasn't having to take muscle relaxers every day. I wasn't in pain. The inflammation had gone to a place where I could function and enjoy moving. I've never exercised. Adam, I do not like to sweat. It's not
Right.
my thing.
Right.
And I couldn't, because I was in pain, I couldn't stand in the kitchen for longer than 10 minutes before I have to sit down. I have to, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
And I was able to stand. I was able to walk. And those were things that just were not possible for me until I
Do you
started
mind
looking into it.
standing up?
Well, I got some funky little shorts on, but yeah.
That is awesome. Look at that. That's great, Rachel. I love
And
it. Keep going.
um, part of me having those 2 printed pages of information, my sister, my older sister, I'm the baby, she's the next one up. She's been on low carb carnivore for a long time, like 7 years. But until someone says, for your life, you need to do something,
Yes.
it wasn't an option.
Right.
It didn't occur to me. So I immediately called Paula and I said, Paula, this is what he says I should do. Give me ideas. What do I do? Give me recipes, help me. And she has been so loving and so kind to share her experiences, share what works and share what doesn't. And it made us a lot closer. We have, I'll email her a recipe and she's like, yeah, I told you about that, don't you? It's like we share tweaks that we make to recipes. I always joke that she has a hard time following a recipe because she lets that New Orleans Cajun in her she spices with her heart. It's not
Yes,
following a
exactly.
recipe. Yeah, yeah.
You know what I love, and
Hmm.
I've been fortunate enough to have 10 or 12 guests on talk about their journey and how the keto lifestyles really help them.
Yeah.
One customer slash fan last year told me because of the keto diet she was able to get pregnant
Yeah.
because she had some, and forgive me, I'm not sure of the ailment. There's
Polycystic
yeah,
ovary is
yes,
the big one.
exactly,
Yeah.
polycystic ovaries.
Yeah.
But I get so excited, Rachel, to hear how it's brought people together. Because I have cerebral palsy and use an electric wheelchair for mobility, and I'm so happy to be who I am and extremely fortunate. But without the love and support of my family and friends, there's no possible way I'd be here today. No
Yeah.
possible way. And the fact that you and your sister now, not only do you feel great because of the weight loss, but your relationship has improved.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the greatest thing in the world, because at the end of the day, that's all we have
Right.
are people. Like,
Right.
I obviously I'm biased. I'm very happy that you love Keto Crisp and everybody out there loves Keto Crisp. But the greatest thing about the bar to me, is meeting people like you and hearing your story and
Yeah.
hearing other people's stories. It's so awesome. And you talked about the keto community and how everybody's so tight and wants to help each other, because we've all been there.
Yeah.
Like
For sure.
I was never, like, I'm not a snack person, but I like to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And before I learned about the keto lifestyle, I would just eat dessert all the time. I'd eat any breads, and then
Yeah.
you gain weight because you're not burning as many calories as, say, somebody that's able to get up and walk around. And
Yeah.
when I started the keto diet, it's that discipline, and within the first couple days of you being on the diet or lifestyle, as I'd like to call it, you lost 9 pounds. I mean, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
So as we circle back, and so you've been doing a lot of cooking and things like that. What are some of your favorite recipes that you could share?
I love to cook, and my husband loves dessert, so it's a perfect marriage.
Yes.
um, I love. We came from Houston. He was born in South Carolina, but was mainly in Texas for a long time, and it's very diverse there as far as the food. And
Yep.
I love Indian food, so I love butter chicken. The spinach, the creamed spinach is fantastic. Um, there's a red pepper chicken that I make that Matt and Mega made, and
Yes. I
and
love
I've
the people on Keto Connect.
yeah, and I've tweaked it a little bit because it wasn't quite spicy enough for me.
Right.
um, and desserts, all kind of desserts. I am allergic to chocolate,
Really.
so yeah. And when you made the peanut butter and jelly, bar, and the butter and salt is amazing. I love it.
Thank you. Thank
But
you.
because I don't eat chocolate, I still bake chocolate things for him.
Right.
I can't eat it, but I love making them because I love the way he reacts to them. And he eats keto. He eats everything that I eat.
Right.
Um, it's
Has he lost weight like you have?
he did lose weight. He actually lost more weight than I did
Right.
because he's a man. I don't want to talk about that.
Right. No, it's okay.
Guys, they move so much more, I think, I guess. But
Right.
he like surpassed me, and yeah, he did really well.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
We need to bring him in here to say hello.
With the work that he does, he is on calls all day. And I
Yes.
asked him, I said, "Do you want to, do my call with me?" He's like, "I'm done talking. I can't talk no more."
Right. Well, please give him a hug and a kiss for
Oh,
us here at the
sure.
CanDo Keto Chris team. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, when did you know, and you kind of touched on this earlier, Rachel, when did you know that you're like, man, this is really working and I can really do it?
It,
Because
it,
like you said, you've tried every diet under the
yeah,
sun.
yeah, I did. And honestly, when I started keto, I had no idea how long I was going to do it. Because in the past, when you try a diet, you usually work on it, and it's hard, but about a month in, and then you go, okay, this is too much, and I haven't seen progress. I'm done.
Right.
Then about a month, I realized I'm not hungry. That was
Correct.
a huge thing for me because I love food, and if I would scavenge to see what I could find. but I wasn't hungry and I felt good. And it only took, like 3, 4 weeks when I started
Right.
feeling this good. I joke all the time that the one thing I never got out of keto was mental clarity. And that's because
Right.
I'm, it's got
What'd you
nothing to
say?
do because
You
I'm
br-
dizzy.
you're dizzy.
Ditzy.
Oh, ditzy.
Yeah.
Got it. I would beg to differ. I think you're right on point. So you knew like a month in that this was gonna work for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the most exciting part of the journey? Was it the weight loss? Was it the I can do it? Was it all the above? Tell me, like,
It was a little bit of everything, but I think getting the I don't like shopping for clothes and I love to sew. So I would take my current clothes and just go stitch them up and make them fit better. So but seeing the progress, I went from a 26, 28 to a 16.
it's great.
And the way I am shaped, and granted, I did this at 50 years old. So my body is not going to spring back. I'm not going to look like I'm 20, and that's okay. I was telling a girlfriend that if I'd ever lost another pound, but I didn't gain any, I would be happy where I am.
Right.
And being happy in my own skin is a gift because
Yes.
I went trying to find pictures of me and I love to hide. I want to take pictures because I didn't want to be in front of the camera.
Right.
And I don't seek the camera now, but I don't feel like I have to hide anymore.
Well, you don't have to hide. And we've all been there.
Yeah.
Those have been overweight. You're leaning a certain way, this, that,
Yeah.
and the other,
Yeah.
certain clothes, certain colors. That's awesome. I'm
Finding
so
people to
excited.
strategically put in front of me.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Um, who were some of your role models? You talked about how close you are now with your sister. Talk about your role models. And what did your family doctor say?
My family doctor was just aghast. He was like, "Yeah, you're doing great." And he was happy with me for because we go every 6 months. So it was like at my year, my ketoversary. And
Ketoversary. I've never heard of that before.
yeah,
That's great.
my first year ketoversary. I go in and I always try to bake him something to, give him a little treat. And he told me that he had gone on keto before, so he knew what I was going through. He wasn't currently on keto, but I'd always bake him something and bring him a treat. And I was so disappointed at him. He was pleased with everything and then starts talking to me about my cholesterol. So,
Right.
we might want to get you on a statin. And I said, no, I don't need a statin.
Right.
I said, my body is processing everything that I eat. And I don't, it's very controversial to talk about, statins and cholesterol and what's healthy and what's not. And we need more people to do the research, to find. My head kind of explodes when I go back to the creation of the cholesterol's a problem.
Right.
Um, I don't know, but I continue to tell him no. I think I'm fine. I'm gonna continue what I'm doing. And it's so funny because I'll go in and they'll forget that I'm on keto
Yeah.
and they'll be looking at my blood work. Oh, you had some ketones. It's like, yeah, I do.
Right.
And he's like, oh yeah, you're on keto. It's very funny, but
That's
yeah,
great.
he was very pleased. My blood pressure, I was on blood pressure medicine.
I was on all those
Yeah,
medications, blood pressure,
yeah,
torvastatin, all those things.
yeah,
Now I'm not.
yeah. No, my blood
Uh,
pressure's perfect. I'm not on anything. And I'm grateful that he took what might have just been a chance. That might not have been his normal go-to, hey, you've got fatty liver, you need to try keto. That might have just been an inkling that sparked at just the right moment, but it saved my life.
Have you told him that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Great.
And he's a hugger, so I'm like, I'll start crying, and he's like, "Don't cry, you're gonna make me cry." So he'll hug me. Yeah, he's a sweet, sweet man.
That's awesome. You
Yeah,
got to introduce him to our keto bars. We'll send you out something to give to him.
cool. That'd be nice.
Yeah. But so
Would you
now
like a
what is?
story about your keto bar?
Yes, I'd love it. Any story. First of all, it's about our keto bar. It's never
Our
about
keto
me.
bar, yes. See, I really want to interview you. I want to know, how did you develop this? I want to know what did you do? Because I'm so happy that you did.
Well, great. Go ahead first with your story, and I'm happy
Okay.
to answer any questions that you
Okay.
have.
We before this whole wonderful 2 years we've had with the pandemic, it was habit for my husband and I to once a week go to Starbucks, go sit inside, and we would share a treat, something that I had baked or something that I had made. And we would have coffee together and just sit and talk. It was, very relaxed. And then everything shut down and we couldn't go do that.
Right.
And we found our bars, the Keto Crisp. And I said, babe, we got to try this. I mean, it just sounds so good. And we, at home, had coffee and we shared one of your bars, and it just felt like a sweet piece of normalcy.
Right.
But that Keto Crisp bar and a cup of coffee, you cannot do much better.
Well, thank you so
Um,
much. It's the first Starbucks Keto Chris story I've heard. Starbucks, if you're out there, you need to pick up our bars now that we're open.
there
Now
you
that you're
go.
open again.
There you go.
That's awesome. What a great story. Which bar was it?
The one that we shared was the almond butter jelly.
Got it.
Yeah.
Great. Perfect. Awesome. Is that your go-to flavor?
It is my go-to because, like I said, I can't eat chocolate, and if we're gonna share
Yep.
one,
Yep.
it's gotta be that one or the almond butter.
Yep.
They're all
Exactly.
good.
And now you got the butter and salt to choose from.
Yes, I do. They're so good. It's
That's
like a Rice
great.
Krispie treat. They're so
Yeah.
good.
Yes. Well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Awesome. So go ahead, ask me anything
How?
you want.
What did you do? Did you get in the kitchen? I mean, how did you develop this?
So great question. My brother's been in marketing and branding for about 25 years.
Okay.
And I came out to California to help my brother rehab from a major injury. And he's
Okay.
doing great now, and you never know anything. So I had always been a little on the heavier side because I'm always sitting down and I'm not burning as many calories as the next person. And I had, I've always been a foodie and I love food. I love going out to eat. I'm not very domestic. So no, I wasn't in the kitchen, but I had followed the keto-based diet. A friend of mine uh, had started cooking for us because we couldn't go out to dinner because my brother was rehabbing.
Mm-hmm.
So he would come over a couple nights a week and cook for us. And he said, Adam, I'd really like to get you into the pool to get you doing some exercises. So we started going to the pool every day, and I was doing some really cool things that I always wanted to do, like move my legs or, just work on my stroke or just work on just range of motion. And we were both like really excited. I'm a very energetic, emotional, excitable person. Like, let's go, let's do this. What else can we do? And Gabe, my buddy, said, Adam, if you really want to dial this in, you got to make changes to your diet. So I'm like, okay, what do we need to do? He's like, you got to cut carbs, you got to cut sugars. And I was like, you know what? I'll do that 100%, but I'm not going to go cold turkey because I really want to win at this. And I said, 2 to 3 times a week, instead of having a piece of bread, I'm going to have bread maybe 1 or 2 times a week. And then just gradually I started building that confidence and seeing that success. And I just, you know, kept snowballing. And then I kept Googling certain things and found out it was the keto diet. And again, I kept looking at the shelves of local grocery stores and seeing what was available. And there really was nothing great tasting. Like I had tried so many things, and this is no disrespect to anybody out there trying to create their own brand or whatever, but we really thought we had an opportunity to make something that tasted great, that people could really enjoy, not to just ingest. You know, people with these snack bars, they think, I got to eat them because, you know, they're going to solve X, Y, and Z. It doesn't really matter how great it tastes. Well, to us, taste was important. So circling, it's actually the most important in our opinion.
I agree.
Macros are very important, but taste is right there.
Yeah.
You know, so my brother and I and a couple other people at the time just sat around the room and we're like, what can we make that tastes great? So we reached out to a bar manufacturer and a research developer, and we sat down and we said, we need something that's vanilla based or almond butter. We need 2 chocolates because we know that people are chocolate lovers.
Right.
What can you come up with? And every week they would send us 10 to 12 different prototypes that we would try.
Wow.
And we would say, no, we need you to add a little bit more of this. Can you get a little bit more of this? And to be honest with you, we had no idea. We're just like, we're food people. We just want to get it right. Can you please just keep sending us more and more samples? We want to make the taste great because we will never release a product unless it tastes great. So we, after about 9 months, we came to the chocolate raspberry, chocolate mint, and almond butter. And literally myself, a colleague of mine, Mary Delgado, and my brother, we would literally go door to door at different grocery stores. Guys, you got to try the bar. You got to try the bar. You got to try it. We would go door to door in my van, passing out samples. Guys, you got to try the bar. You got to try the bar. And so we would do demos at local grocery stores and anywhere anybody would listen. And, even to this day, I've got bars on me all the time. Just say, hey, would you try this? And so that's kind of where we are because, number one, I love meeting people, and that to me is everything. And number two, we're doing this, and I've seen the success of people and people like you and other guests that we've had. It's just been so great to be able to share your story and highlight your story. So that's how we came up with it. And we're just, again, just thankful, for the support of all the fans and the customers and, so that's it. We just, we went with our heart and, just continue to create great tasting things. It's not rocket science, add a little bit here, add a little bit there. But the thing that I love the most is just, again, interacting with people like you and listening. Like when we do demos, when we first came out, we had the 3 flavors, which is great, but they have whey in them, and there's a lot of customers that are vegetarian or vegan. So they said, Adam, we'd love to try your bars, but when are you going to have a vegan? So we created a vegan bar that tasted good.
Yeah.
So, and that happens to be your favorite, the almond butter blackberry jelly.
Right.
And so, so that's how we did it.
That's awesome.
And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. What other questions do you have?
No, I couldn't. There was a bar that I was crazy about, and they shut down. They stopped.
Really?
Stoka bars?
Say the name?
Stoka, Stoka.
I thought I've heard of Stoka.
Yeah, I think they were out of
Stoka. Yeah, are they keto?
They were keto, yes. I think they were out of Texas. I think so. And I think what happened is they made too many flavors, and they had trouble. I don't know, but it was around the pandemic that they stopped. So I don't know if it was supply. I don't know if it was people. But they only made for me because it was not chocolate,
Right.
only one that I really, really loved. So I felt bad that I could only support them by purchasing this one flavor. Um, but it was pumpkin pie spice.
Right.
It tasted like Thanksgiving. I mean, it was a depth of flavor, and that was. I was wondering if you were going to make a pumpkin one
Well, we've talked about many different flavor combinations, and
yeah.
certainly pumpkin and a
Or
pumpkin spice
cinnamon.
or something like that has certainly come across the radar. And I can tell you
Yeah,
that we've got some exciting flavors coming down the road here in the near future, and some other exciting products. We are huge believers in innovation. So
yeah,
we constantly want to continue to bring great products for
yeah,
you guys, for everyone to try. If it works, great. If it doesn't, you'll tell us.
yeah,
People will tell us.
yeah.
And like your feedback about the pumpkin is great. Like that's awesome.
Or cinnamon. It doesn't have to be pumpkin, I guess.
Right,
Just
right. What do you think about lemon? Are you a lemon fan?
lemon is hard.
Okay,
If it's not lemon is hard because sometimes it can taste chemically.
right.
It doesn't taste right. And I don't know anything about how to, get that balance, but even like lemon extract that I bought, I can't use it because it's a hard one to get the balance right.
Got it. You said oftentimes you love to cook sweets and desserts. What are your favorite desserts to cook or to bake, I should say?
Pumpkin is like me and my sister, we're both kind of crazy about pumpkin. I make probably from September through December, I make pumpkin rolls, like a Swiss roll cake.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, with a whipped cream filling, and it's got a lot of cinnamon and nutmeg, and it's delicious. But my husband has kind of gone crazy with pecan pies,
Yeah,
so I make him pecan pies all year round. There's no season for that. It's
great.
his favorite.
Are you constantly in the kitchen baking?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's great. That's great. What do you have going on there in the background? Are those videos that you collect?
No, those are stamps. I love to make cards.
Oh,
Yeah, just trying to find it. I've got cards everywhere because I keep them handy so that when
oh, nice.
I yeah,
You make the cards too?
I do.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's a lot of fun. So you're creative.
Yeah.
Creative in the kitchen and with the cards. I love it.
And my sewing machine.
Right.
I like making clothes for my granddaughter.
You have a granddaughter. That's great. How old is she?
She's 7.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
so cute. What is
Yeah.
that? Second grade?
2nd grade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, what I want to get back to the activities. I think activities are really important, and swimming has really helped me out a lot. What
Yeah.
activities do you do now that you couldn't do before? I know you had mentioned you couldn't even stand in the kitchen.
Yeah. Walking is something I couldn't do, and I love to walk.
Right.
Um, I did not exercise with keto to push the weight loss, but I have decided, I just started, let's see, we're in February. I started the end of January doing an exercise program. I want to get strong. I want to feel, um, I don't want to be muscly. I don't want to be like a bodybuilder. I just want to be strong. I want to be able to do things and, feel empowered to do those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now you can. Do you work out with weights?
I don't. I because I mean, I'm now 50 plus and I've never worked out. Never ever ever. So I don't have like the strength in my wrist. I tried doing a kettlebell and I mean my wrist just started hurting because I don't have any muscle and I'm starting really slow. I'm doing beginners training, which is very gentle. It's almost for seniors. Which
What
I
about like
call fail.
just even using cans of soup?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got 2 pound weights that when I do my upper body workout, and I mean, it feels like somebody else's 10 pounds because I'm building muscle I never had.
Right, but right, and that's so smart of you because it's not a competition between you and somebody else. It's what's best for you.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah,
great. That's
yeah.
great. And I love the fact that you know you're willing to try things now that maybe you didn't feel like, or whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
and now you're out there doing it. Um, what was the most difficult time in your journey, and how did you get through it?
Most difficult. I don't know that I had a most difficult. This
I
is
don't know.
this lifestyle has simplified my cooking, my preparation, my COVID took care of my picking out clothes. Everything is a t-shirt and shorts and jeans now. Um, I don't know that I've had a struggle. Um,
Well, that's
when
great.
with
That's
with the
great.
with the pandemic, stress internal, it
Hmm.
just the stress of life and watching the news too long and um, you know, having family and friends that you can't put your arms around.
Yes.
I never stopped doing the right thing, but I was eating a whole lot of the right things. And that's what made
Right.
me my weight creep up a little bit, but I'm back under control. It's all good.
Right. It's all
Yeah,
good. And the nice thing about it is you can have a day where it's not perfect. Everybody's not perfect.
absolutely.
And you start your morning off and it's kind of a reset.
Yeah.
You do an activity and it's totally fine.
Yep.
I always tell people it really was like learning a new language.
Yeah.
The diet is really a new language, and it's great. Um, what is your favorite thing to eat on the keto diet?
Pork
I can
rinds.
tell you, pork rinds. Wow.
I probably that was my guilty pleasure. I have a recipe to make them barbecue. So they're like barbecue potato chips, but they're
Yes,
barbecue pork
you
rinds.
you have to share that with the audience.
I will do that. I will do that. I make those for my husband quite a bit. And then, I mean, we eat nachos with pork rinds. We have, whatever we're eating, we've got a few pork rinds. It's our crunch factor that just, I think it makes my meal more pleasurable.
Right.
Yeah.
And people comment about the crispiness in the
Yeah.
keto crisp of having that crunch,
Yeah.
which is good.
That is good.
Um, had an had another. What advice would you give to somebody that struggled with weight loss, like, and in and out of certain diets or whatever?
Yeah.
What advice would you give?
Don't overthink it.
Right.
Just, you know, have a clear direction. Know you don't have everything planned out, and that's okay. But
Yep.
don't put it off. You
Right.
can't start Monday. You can't do it later. Make a decision for your life and move forward.
Right.
It's as hard as you make it. I mean, because it's really not difficult.
Right. That's great advice. And in closing, we talk about, we're the CanDo company, the maker of Keto Crisp, and because life is always about what we can do, not what we can't.
Yep.
And for me, my biggest can do moment, I've had lots of them. my biggest can-do moment is losing the weight because I never thought it would be possible.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't believe in myself. I just didn't know how it would work, and
Yeah.
tried many diets, many changes, and nothing but keto had worked. What is your biggest can-do moment in life? Whether it be being a mom, a wife, what's your biggest can-do moment? Something that you did, and maybe it's the keto diet. It could be.
For me, it kind of ties back to our kids and our grandkids. They're in Texas and we're in South Carolina. So to fly there, the experience of flying in the past, as soon as I've boarded the plane, excuse me, ma'am, I need a seatbelt extension. I don't have to
Right,
ask for that anymore. And to
right,
sit down, the first time I sat in a plane and buckled the seatbelt and had room, at the end, it wasn't like at the very tip. I cried and realized that I am far from skinny. I don't want to be skinny, but I am so much healthier in this place with this way of life. I will never go back to eating the things that I used to. I can't.
right,
I have gained too much in my abilities. The not having inflammation, not having high blood pressure, not being in pain, and having a smaller size of clothing that I can't go back. I won't.
right. I've said those exact words.
Yeah.
I may have a sugary thing here or there, but there's no way that I'm going to allow myself to go to that place again.
Yeah.
And that's great. And the self-discipline, that's what the keto or any diet or anything that's worked. And you're trained in that. You said you can't and you won't. And
Right.
that's really powerful.
It is.
That within itself is incredible. The mental toughness to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. Um, uh, what do you do? What do you do? You talk about sewing and cooking. What do you do? And you spending time with grandkids? What other hobbies do you like? What do you do? Do you work during the day?
I don't. This
Yeah,
is my workroom where you see me sitting right here.
that's awesome.
Yeah. I I love making things for other people, and
Yes,
whether that's cooking or a card, clothes. My granddaughter, I have sewn for her since I started sewing before my daughter actually had her. um, yeah, and because they're in Texas, I just put them in the mail and they open them up and surprise.
that's great. How often do you get to see your grandkids?
Um, about twice a year. Yeah, we'll go out there once, and then they usually come see us in the fall.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's nice.
Well, I got to tell you, it's been awesome to talk with you, Rachel. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Thanks for your support. Um, again, I'm so happy for you. Thank you, thank you, congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, I love your smile every day. You're just so excited and just so happy. It's great. It's awesome.
Yes, it
Any
is.
any other questions?
No, I'm very thankful for you. Thank you for all that you do with Keto Chris, but all that you do with spreading the word and talking to people and hearing their stories. It's nice to hear part of your story too.
Well, thank you very much. It's
Yeah.
it's it's awesome for me to hear your story and others. I'm so excited. Just it puts a smile on my face, and it's great. Positivity is contagious,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful thing. And so thank you so much, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
Sounds good.